Mhm. Yeah. Would you agree with the idea that over time, police brutality has gotten better, right? Meaning there's less of it in general?
Probably, but it was like I said, it's hard to say because you'd have to sift through old newspapers and page
Hmm.
47. Three Negro youths were accosted by resisted arrest, and two of them were shot dead. 1957. Well, that would probably be a big incident today. That two
Hmm.
people just shot dead, but
Yeah.
George Floyd would have been page 67 of the local news.
Hmm.
It wouldn't have mattered. So it probably is. But then again, I think there probably has been a slight resurgence, say, from the late 90s or the turn of the century. I think there has been a resurgence. I don't think it's been fueled by the Trumps, people like Trump, or Fox News or whatnot. I think they have ridden that because, it's again, if you don't do what we say, if you don't vote like we want to vote, we can take what little shit you have. We can take away your cell phones. We can take away your cable subscription. We can take away Netflix. We can take away your electric blanket because we'll make you a white N-word.
Yeah, well, that's a good observation about there being a resurgence in police brutality since the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. Because, well, first of all, up until a couple of years ago, the standard wisdom was that, hey, police brutality has been more or less getting better in an unbroken line. But last year, after George Floyd, there was this kind of very, like, just a huge study that came out, the biggest study of its kind, that actually showed that although police brutality in general has been getting better when you do a long enough time span, meaning like a century, the late 90s started seeing that uptick again. It was due to militarization. It was due to, police unions negotiating the ability to use, a lethal force in ways that are
And people like
unacceptable.
David Koresh becoming heroes. People like
Yeah.
David Koresh, here in Waco, the siege in Waco. This is how you get the whole idea of deep government, or what was it called, deep state, or whatever the term is. And there's so that this the end result is January 6th. But something like what this Micaiah girl was stabbed. People are saying, well, there have been X amount of incidents, and where there were more incidents with black people or with white people being having guns pulled on them. Yes, but not percentage wise, and we don't know about all the incidents where there were people. White people resisting, and usually what happens too when a white person gets shot or something, they're actually resisting. This isn't like a lot of the times when a black person, a kid is walking away, or just stop, the black kid's walking away, boom, 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 3 shots to the back or something. He's not pulling out a gun. He's walking away, disengaging, and I think part of the thing, if you want to talk about bigotry, like especially in this Micaiah Bryant case, is that they don't care to give enough training for the people who are going to be serving in those neighborhoods. If you are, and I think the cop was from I think the city was a fairly affluent city next door. So maybe the cop was even from like a nearby city or whatnot. But if you don't give the training, if you don't teach people how to interact with other people, there are going to be problems. This is one of the reasons why, since we still have enclaves racially and ethnically, you need to have the people in charge look like the people who are there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say you can't have a white cop in a black neighborhood, but if you have 10 cops that patrol a certain area that's a mostly black neighborhood, you should have maybe no more than 1 or 2 white cops, a couple of Hispanics, and mostly black people who can interact with that. So that one of the reasons a lot of these black kids will walk away and just be defiant from a cop, and the cop then guns them down, is because they know pretty much that they're fucked the minute they're stopped. And no matter what they do, something is going to happen. People famously now, black people talk about the talk that every father and mother give, especially their black sons, about when they're stopped or pulled over in a car, or any cop stops them. White people don't have to deal with that. Yes, to a certain degree, I know what it's like, but I'm an extreme outlier in that sense.